The man suddenly woke up because something was licking him. He pulled off the cloth covering his eyes and was shocked by what he saw. He was trapped on a steep cliff, thousands of meters high. Below him was a deep valley, and when he looked up, he saw his parachute tangled in a dry tree. That tree had somehow saved his life. But the entire cliff wall was smooth, because it was a salt mine. There was no easy way up. Quickly, he took out a dagger and fixed it into his shoe. Then he pulled out 2 more daggers and forcefully stabbed them into the salt wall. He tried his best to climb, desperate to escape the terrifying situation. But he had barely climbed 2 meters when the weak daggers snapped. He lost his grip and began falling fast. Luckily, the parachute was still caught in the tree branches. But before he could feel safe, the dry tree started cracking under his weight. Without wasting a second, the man grabbed the parachute ropes tightly, pulled out his dagger, and began cutting the ropes quickly. Just before the branches completely broke, he managed to cut the rope and avoid falling. Now, one of his feet was resting on the salt wall while his hands clung to the cliff. He was exhausted and nearly ready to give up. But then he looked up and saw a goat standing calmly on the cliff, licking the salt. That sight gave him a spark of hope. Forgetting everything else, he decided to copy the goat. Using all his strength, he shoved his hands into the cracks in the rock. The deep valley below made his soul tremble. One small mistake, and he'd fall thousands of meters to his death. But there was no going back now. Using his hands and feet carefully, he began climbing. After a long and difficult climb, he finally reached a small ledge. But before he could even catch his breath, the salt surface below him crumbled. The sound of falling rocks echoed as he struggled to hold on and continued climbing. Finally, he leapt like a goat and managed to grab the edge of the cliff. His hands were now on the top, but his strength was fading. No matter how hard he tried, climbing up seemed impossible. Just then, a goat appeared above and stared at him angrily. It sniffed the air and realized he wasn't one of its kind. Without hesitation, it rammed him. Fortunately, the man still had one hand holding the edge. He put all his strength into climbing up. But the goat wasn't giving up easily. It charged at him again. This time, he grabbed its horns. The goat panicked and started pulling back. In that struggle, the man was pulled upward and finally made it to the top, collapsing onto the ground. He lay there, breathing heavily. Then slowly, he raised his hand, placed it on the goat's head, and gently stroked it. His eyes were filled with peace and gratitude.